From Tally to Cali,
It's time
to wake up.
Wake up! Wake up!
Warchant.com is your ultimate Seminole sports source.
And this is Wake Up Warchant, presented by Zaxby's
Now here's Warchant.com's Aslan Hajavandi.
and Corey Clark.
Have a holly jolly Christmas. And when you
Wake up! What's up, everybody? It is Wake Up Warchant, proudly presented by Zaxby's. Indescribably good. The possibilities, the combinations are endless with 4, 5, or 6 chicken fingers in your plate. Take advantage of it. Use the Zax sauce. Also, use the promo code WARCHANT30. Take advantage of 30 free days. Try it out. Just move in, get your feet up on the coffee table, see what it feels like, and decide if you want to be part of the ultimate Seminole sports source. I think you will. And if you're listening to us on YouTube, much obliged. Once you, tap or click. If you're listening on a phone, tap. If you're on your laptop like me, old school, click the thumbs up button. Folks on Apple, if you could leave a 5-star review, that'd be much, much appreciated. I went back and looked at, I think, maybe our last 5 reviews, and 4 of them are 5 stars. It was great. Even one guy doesn't like me, but he still did a 5-star, which is what you're supposed to do.
Right, right. Because, look, you're part of the show, and if you like the show, even if you don't like you, it's still a 5-star review.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you're part of the glory that is this show.
Yeah. We got one 1-star review. Apparently, we're too negative, and we're not helping out the program. We're sinking them even further into their problems.
Well, that's true. You know all the recruits listen to this.
What are we doing to help the program? All that kind of stuff. So, but hey, you can't please all the people all the time.
But I think there are some people that think that, like, what do you think our job is? Like, number one, anytime somebody's talking about your product, it's good for your product. It's a popular show. People listen to it because people care about Florida State football. It doesn't, I don't think it, we're never going to be like, hey, fill up Doak, and 80,000 people are going to show up all of a sudden. You know what I'm like back when in normal times. Like, guys, let's fill up Doak. Nobody's going to listen to us, just like we can't hurt the program by saying, it's just our opinions. And look, I think the fact that we're passionate about it and we have a passionate fan base, that's all. Hey, any pub is good pub. If you're being taught, the problem is when nobody's doing shows about your football team, and there are no podcasts and there are no websites. So any websites are fine. And frankly, we're all in this together, right? People are losing their jobs every day. We're trying, we want to keep as much money as possible so there can still be a war chant and my kid can still have a roof over his head.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, that'd be nice. And I can still get that sweet, sweet Zaxby's.
That's right. By the way, a shout out to D Wolf 1. DAB to us amateurs is Daytona Beach. I didn't realize that. It must be at the airport code, I'm guessing. I wouldn't have guessed DAB was Daytona Beach. But there you go, everybody. We figured it out. Ooh, also, a shout out to Chuck Walsh, Sports Information Director for Florida State University men's basketball side. Florida State has won 10 straight overtime games, as we discussed in great detail on Thursday's show. The record is 11 by a team in Kentucky, Aslan, Louisville. UMass and Virginia also with 11 straight overtime victories. Funny enough, the UMass and Virginia streaks both ran concurrently from 91 to 96. The Louisville 11-game overtime streak ran from 68 to 75.
So it's the longest overtime streak in 24 years. What Florida State is currently on, and they can tie the record or beat the record this year at some point. Eventually, they will lose another overtime game again. It's just going to happen. Again, I should have looked up the last overtime game they lost, like if it was a memorable one. I wonder if it was.
No, that'd be focusing on the negative. We're just like, pack the tuck, everybody. Get excited.
That's right.
Let's break some records.
That's right. Let's do it. Well, pack the tuck up to 20%.
As we record the show, seems like everything is moving along with this game on Saturday, despite the fact that everything else seems to be crumbling around college football. Big 12 seems to be in a bit of a slump right now, which was called by none other than the Coracle Warchant Report. At the end of it, they make game picks, whether it's Gene, Ira, and Corey, or Corey, Ira, and Jeff. Jeff's always on the show. He's hosted. Yeah. And we've gotten to the point now where we keep making these game picks, and we usually record on Tuesdays, and then by the time we drop it on Thursday, half the games have been canceled. So when they recorded this show on Wednesday at noon, Jeff Cameron of ESPN Tallahassee fame throws a curveball and is like, I don't want you guys to pick winners. Just tell me, will they be playing these games? And the first game on the slate that Gene gave us was Oklahoma taking on West Virginia. And Corey, what did you think about that one? Did you think it was going to be played?
I did not. I said I thought that would be the game of the week, the games that we were picking that would probably be canceled. My reasoning being, those two states in particular, but also they're far away from each other. It's not an easy trip. They're on opposite ends of the country almost. I know Oklahoma's in the middle. Give me a break. They're not close because West Virginia, 1,500 miles from any other closest competitors. So I just felt like if there was ever going to be a reason late in the season not to make a trip, that would be the reason. And,
Corey was right.
The next day. Yeah.
Corey was right. Thursday afternoon, Big 12 pulled the plug on West Virginia and Oklahoma. Also, Texas and Kansas is not being played. I don't know what's going on with the ACC, but the people on our side that know things, that talk to the people that know the things, say that things look pretty I shouldn't say it, just like the red flag that would be flown at this point has not been flown. So
well, and remember they moved up the testing protocols. So when normally you were taking a test on Friday, ridiculously, you would take a test on Friday and then travel and wait for the results, which is just preposterous. But now they're doing those last round of tests on Thursday, which was when we're recording this show, they have done those tests, and now theoretically you should have those results by Thursday night or early Friday morning to keep Duke from getting on the plane if they're not going to be able to play. So at worst, you have to think by today at noon, 1 o'clock, if it hasn't been called off, that it's definitely a go.
Hey, what do you think about this that happened on Thursday as well, Corey? Boston College, I think, became the first team to decline a bowl bid, and this is as multiple bowl games are being canceled just because of everything that's going on in the country. LSU did their self-imposed postseason ban this year, as they sit at 3-5. Enjoy all the scrutiny of being a defending national champion, LSU. Welcome to the club. Do you think?
But what a time to impose a bowl ban on yourself. I mean, come on. We don't even know if they were going to a bowl. We don't even know how many bowls there are going to be. And there you have other teams declining bowl invites, and LSU's like, look, you don't have to look into anything, guys. We took care of it. We're not going to play in a bowl this year. Oh, wow. Well, thank you. That's all we needed to hear. Meanwhile, we took 25 victories from the winningest coach in college football on a self-imposed. You know what I mean? Like, it's just that's preposterous to do that. It's funny, though. It's awesome. It's like me self-imposing a sit-up ban. I'm just, guys, this year, I'm just not, for all of December, I'm not doing any sit-ups. Just not doing any ab work at all. I want to. I desperately want to. But I'm going to go ahead and just boycott from it. Or the other is like, I don't want to do sit-ups anyway. Good times.
I was a big proponent. I was very excited about the Sun Bowl last year. I thought it was very important for that team to get an additional 12 or 15 practices, whatever it is. But in hindsight, I don't think there was anything wrong with that game. But ultimately, it's like, well, it wasn't like, I don't know, only maybe 3 people that coached in that game are still here. Or maybe 2, Odell and Dugans, I think, right? Like nobody else was retained. I know,
right.
Pimp and Mark Snyder and Harlan Barnett, Kendall, Randy Clements, all of them are out there, but they're obviously no longer here. And as teams start declining these bowl bids, Boston College, again, the first one, and then Brett McMurphy is saying that they'll be the first of many, which would possibly open up a seat for Florida State. And it probably would be valuable with this staff to get those practices in. But, Boston College, Jeff Hafley, pretty much cited the need, just the grueling nature of this season that we don't really get a good grasp of, that these players have gone through, that they just need to be able to kind of go home and be kids, I guess, to a certain degree. And
I think his
that's what I
thought
would probably say. Yeah, let them go home.
Yeah, I think it's different for each team, right? Like Boston College hasn't gone 5 weeks without playing, or 4 weeks, I guess. Florida State has. So they're in different boats, different camps. Boston College has almost played out at string anyway. I don't know if they've had a game canceled, maybe one. Certainly not 3 like Florida State is, and we're not 100% sure on this one. But yeah, like his point was the the allure of a bowl trip is you get to go away from home, stay in sometimes, if you're not in certain cities, stay in snazzy hotels, get all these free gifts. It's a week of fun and it's a week of practice and it's like a reward. Well, they're not going, these bowl trips aren't going to be like that. They're not going to be staying in hotels for a week, and they're not going to be going to a Brazilian steakhouse and seeing how many pounds of meat they can put away and stuff like that. It's just going to be a travel, a game, and then leave, essentially. And some teams, that just isn't appealing enough. And I get it, right? That makes sense to me. I can also see the other side for somebody like Florida State. Like, say they play the Duke game, but then the Wake game gets canceled. But then they have a chance to go play, I don't know, Troy and the Who Cares Bowl. Would that be good for Florida State to do that? To get for the players that are, if you get a commitment from the players that are here, you're like, yeah, we're coming back. Some of the seniors, we're coming back. We're into it. We want to play another game right after Christmas. Then yeah, I could see why that would be beneficial. But I also understand the other point. Like a team like Boston College, it kind of went straight, like 10 weeks straight, 11 weeks straight. I think last week was their first positive case on the football team since the season started. Like they've been doing everything right, and I'm sure it has been exhausting. It's exhausting for all these kids. Just for a team like Florida State, though, when you haven't played for 4 weeks, you're trying to look for games to play. So, hey, man, maybe enough teams impose self-sanctioned bowl bans and decline invites that Florida State's in a New Year's Six. Maybe they get to go to the Orange Bowl.
Also dropping on Thursday, SEC teased a big announcement. It's the fact that they're going to get $300 million a year from the worldwide leader ESPN to air their football games, their premium football game package, which has been on CBS for, I don't know, as long as I can remember. I think as long as I've been on this planet. Maybe not that long, but at least in the 90s. It's been a long, long time. It's CBS. My favorite part is going back and watching the Sun Bowl on YouTube because it was on CBS and Nestler set it up. And it was great because it was the Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl. And as they're building the crescendo to get the SEC on CBS music playing, he's like, Florida State, Arizona State, the Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl. It's going to be great.
What better way to ring in the new year? It's the 86 Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl. And it's going to be great.
It was amazing. So I try to watch it every now and then to remember the good old days when this team would go to bowl games.
Right.
But yeah, so 10 years, low $300 million range annually on top of the previous arrangement of ESPN paying them money for some of their games. So the
so
figure
what is that?
is
that $20 million per school, roughly?
Please don't ask me to do math, Corey. That's not in front of me.
Wouldn't that be right? Like
sure, 14,
something like that. 20 extra million per school.
Yeah. The figure is more than 6 times the $55 million per year fee that CBS currently pays the conference.
It's how much? Say that again.
6 times the $55 million per year fee that CBS currently pays the conference. This according to Sports Business Daily, John Orend and Michael Smith.
Okay. So, but the thing is like, CBS would only broadcast one game a week, right? But
most of the
ESPN
time,
still,
but yeah.
ESPN still had the majority of SEC games.
Mm-hmm.
They had their own network for crying out loud, and then you see a bunch of SEC games on ESPN and ESPN2. Like, I don't think that much will change. I guess we're just not going to hear the little trumpet or whatever instrument that is. What is that? Is that a trumpet? Da, 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 da. What are they using for that? I'm not a musical. I know it's not a trumpet. What is it?
I don't know.
It's been around forever. It's been with the little drums. Yeah, like that's been around since I remember that for like the great Miami Florida State games back in the day.
You pull up those like the 87, the 88, those games. It's great. And it's like Bob Trumpy and stuff. It's like Miami.
I hope that doesn't mean that CBS is out of college football. They usually do a pretty good job. What's Gary Danielson going to do? Man, he's not going to be able to talk about all the great SEC players anymore.
And that's crazy because they had Nestler forever, ESPN, and then they, for whatever reason, let him walk. And then I wonder what's going to happen to Brad Nestler. I thought he's been doing pretty admirable job filling the big shoes of Uncle Vern.
Yeah, no, I like Nestler a lot. I really enjoy him, and I've liked him forever. He's been a part of my childhood. He used to call like ACC games, Georgia Tech basketball games when I was like 10 years old. He's awesome, which really dates him. He must be 70 years old.
Oh, stop.
These announcers, man, they just. I mean, they're Mike Patrick, people like that. I bet he's almost 80 years old.
Is he still doing games? He's been. I feel like sometimes. I don't know.
I feel like he'll come out of retirement every now and again, or do a game or two. But yeah, so look, that's it makes the landscape even more uneven than it already is. Whatever that ends up, what does that mean? Like each school's going to be getting $50 million, $55 million per year just in TV rights. Like Vanderbilt gets $58 million. Mississippi State, Missouri, South Carolina, like they're all sharing in this pie where they're getting close to $60 million per year in TV revenue. Meanwhile, Clemson gets half that, if that.
Well, hey, when you play the game, when you don't back out of games and you travel and you play no matter what, networks will go all in on you and invest.
Yeah, sure. I'm sure that's it.
I'm just kidding.
But yeah, look, it's uneven landscape. So Florida State fans, you can't compare yourself to what it's easy now, especially in 2020, where this program is, to say, they'll never catch up to the SEC. They'll never be able to compete with this. They can't compete with this. They can't compete in the arms race. They can't compete in the money race, the finances. Sure, that's understandable, and it's true. But right now, your biggest goal is to compete with the other teams in your conference because you can. Like, yeah, there is an excuse now, a built-in excuse why Florida State can't catch up to Alabama or Georgia. But, man, there is no excuse not to be better than Louisville, NC State, North Carolina, Syracuse, Boston College, on and on and on. Because y'all are all in the same boat together. And you have more resources and more history and tradition and all that than those schools. So that all this means is that maybe Florida State gets knocked a peg down in the overall national chain of being a championship contender. But first things first, you got to take care of your own house anyway, and you've got to be better than all these teams that are getting the $31 million in TV revenue, like you are. You've got to use that money better. You've got to hire better coaches. Not if this, I'm not impugning Mike Norvell's work, but you're still on even footing, or you're not even on even footing. You're above footing on every school in this conference, other than Clemson. So. You can still make it work. You can still be the best team in the ACC. You should be the best team in the ACC.
Checking out AL.com, Corey. According to AL.com, the SEC schools, which received more than $45 million last fiscal year, will receive at least an additional $15 million from this new deal alone. So,
yeah, that's
not quite 20. Not quite 20. We're all right.
So, yeah, 15, 17, somewhere around there. So, 6. So, again, just – I guess it's just it comes down into the filings of life isn't fair. Like, how in the world is Vanderbilt and Mississippi State and Arkansas? Like, you think about the SEC.
It's entourage, Corey. Vanderbilt's
four programs,
turtle.
Yeah. Vanderbilt is a turtle.
Yeah.
And Arkansas is E. Like, just worthless. Like, the show would have been better without those people, especially E, maybe not turtle.
Oh, come on.
E was just the most annoying character. And that actor is like best friends with DiCaprio.
Really?
Like, so in that, from like 2000 to 2012, when they were doing all their circles in Hollywood, going to bars and everything, he was in DiCaprio's circle. So he really was like a part of an entourage. And then, anyway, don't get me started on Entourage, Aslan. It had such promise there at the beginning. But yeah, so look, man, it's crazy that's where when you think about the SEC, it's Georgia, LSU, Alabama, Florida. I don't know. Maybe that's it. Tennessee. What are the big names in the SEC? And yet all the other, they're like, what is it? Plankton? What do you call
Flotsam
the fish?
And jetsam?
What do you call the fish
the
fish that swim underneath the shark? I know that's not plankton, but they are just, they attach themselves to the hull of a ship. And Alabama gets all these people, all this money. And it's like, what did Vanderbilt do to deserve $60 million a year in football TV revenue? It's preposterous, but it's the world we live in, guys.
At what point are we going to start having like really panicked podcasts about this stuff? Or will it just always be gradual? Or like when we look back on this podcast in 3 years and be like, hey, remember when the SEC got $300 million from ESPN and we just spent 10 minutes and we're like, what are you going to do?
Yeah, because of what can you do? What's the choice? You can
start my mega conference I talked about.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's a good idea. Maybe you can combine the Big 12 and the ACC, and that could become you'd have Texas, Clemson. Because why would Texas do that? But you'd have Oklahoma, Clemson, Florida State. You'd have some big names in there. But yeah, I mean that's basically what it does. It's weird how much SEC and ESPN money controls. ESPN controls the narrative. They also control the money. They control the arms race. So people want to complain. Oh, the ESPN, talking heads will be like, you give us all this grief for always praising the SEC. They're the best teams. Who do you want us to talk about? And it's like, yeah, man. But part of the reason they're the best teams is because of you. Like, you're not giving you broadcast all these conference games, but you're giving one conference twice as much money as you're giving the other conference. So of course, over time, that conference is going to be head and shoulders better. They can afford better coaches and better facilities. It's just the reality. But with Florida State, like I said, you're not going to catch up. You can't catch up with Arkansas. You can't catch up with the greats like Ole Miss in Mississippi State, in Tennessee, who's been great now for 2 years out of my lifetime. But you're still in the same boat as all those other schools financially, the other schools in your conference. So don't blame this new deal with the SEC for why you're falling behind so much, because you shouldn't be falling behind other ACC teams. NC State's not making any more money than you. Neither is Pitt. But you lost to them both by 3 touchdowns. That's on you. That has nothing to do with the ESPN SEC revenue. Moving forward, as FSU gets on more solid footing and starts winning games again and can be a 9 or 10 win team, that's when I think this will become this could become a real issue with Florida State and Florida State fans. It's like, well, how are we supposed to catch up with Alabama when they can afford 75 quality control assistants because they make $30 million more just in TV ESPN money than we do?
Well, this is how it's all going to start. We're going to use mybookie.com. Use the promo code WARCHANT. Your first deposit, they'll match half of it. Corey's going to give us some winners. We're all going to pool our money together. And after we win all these bets that Corey's helping us out with, we're going to invest it back into Florida State University. How's that sound, buddy?
That does sound good. Everybody do your part. Everybody do your part. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's you win some money, and you need to make a promise to yourself. If you win every bet you win, thanks to us, 25% goes to us, 25% goes to boosters, and you get to keep half. All right. I think that's fair, right?
Yeah, it's like 20, 20, and 60. But hey, you make the
25, 25, 50. That's the only thing that makes sense.
You're the Coracle after all. All right, Corey, 3 games for entertainment purposes. Everybody's Christmas time. Prioritize your family and your own happiness. Don't do anything crazy and reckless with this stuff. So without further ado, Corey, you got 3 games you feel pretty decent-ish about?
Yeah, let me find them here real quick. I had them. I just want to get everything right. It's North Carolina and Miami for sure.
Oh, no, that one's so scary looking.
I like Miami. Miami is giving
favorite at home.
Yeah, they're giving 3 points to North Carolina. Okay. They're a 3-point favorite on the road. So I like Miami to win by more than 3. And I also like to hit the over. The over-under is 68 points total between the two teams. And I'm hammering the over, man. I'm hammering the over.
Wait, I think, Miami's at home. Are they on the...
Oh, well, either way. Who cares? Who cares? Does it matter? Was there 11 people there?
People that are investing their money with you, Corey. Come on.
Hey, what does it matter? What, is it going to be a home field advantage at Miami in the middle of COVID? When there's 11 people that go to their games normally.
Your locker, all that stuff. Okay, all right. Nonetheless, okay. Look at that. Going multi picks on one game. Okay. I
like that game, man. I like that game. I like Miami giving 3, and I like the over-under of 68. And then, where was the other one? It is a big number, man. And then I like, again, I'm not doing the, I guess I should pick games. I don't know. I saw that the over-under for Missouri and Georgia is 54.5.
That's fine. You can do what you
and
want.
I wanted to do the under.
Oh, ew. You want people to root for defense?
No points? Yeah. Okay, how about this then? How about this? Missouri plus.
No. Trust your judgment. Don't
okay.
Let me...
All right.
All right.
Yeah, I want to do the under on that game.
How they been looking? I thought with JT Daniels, I took them over, I think, a few weeks ago when they played. Did they play Tennessee 2 weeks ago?
Maybe.
No, I don't know.
They played South Carolina.
Okay. Yes, that was it. Yeah, the South Carolina game, I hammered the over. All right, there we go.
Yeah, so that's what I got.
Thank you, Corey. MyBookie.com. Promo code is Warchant. Use it. You'll like it.
Please don't bet any real money on my thoughts. Or let me put it this way: don't blame me if they lose. In fact, you might be better off going exactly opposite of what I say. So those are real picks. Like those, if I was putting money in mybookie.com, which I should, those I would actually bet money on those games. But I'm not a great gambler, other than predicting if COVID is going to cancel a game. So maybe the best thing is to go against my picks. Whatever I say, do the opposite, and you might win all three.
It can be a very, I don't want to say fickle. It can be a very stressful endeavor because I always think about this. Okay, so this year Southern Miss has been an absolute mess. Like they fired their coach after week 1. Their interim coach left like in week 5 to go take the head coaching job at Austin Peay. I think their starting quarterback transferred out. There's like 2 games in a row where I'm like, they're just gonna fall apart. They're a mess right now. And the favorite against them wouldn't cover. Like 2 weeks in a row. Like I'm like, oh, they're gonna get blown out. But they fought hard and they kept it close. They're playing, and this is before we do the show, they're playing FAU on Thursday night, and FAU's like a 9.5-point favorite. And I'm like, yeah, but then FAU's just coming off a bad game. But what I'm trying to say is, like, so it's 2 times in a row, it's burnt me. So now you want to, like, zag. And I always think about, like, poor Mike Martin in Omaha, 40 years of coaching. Like, all the situations he's been in and all those moments in Omaha when he's just like, all right, I've done this 10 times. It's going to work the 11th time. And then it doesn't. And then you come back and you're like, I've done this 11 times. I'm going to change my instinct on the 12th time. And then it didn't work out again. Like you sometimes feel snake bitten. Hopefully that's not you folks when you bet on games. But that's my rant. I'm sorry. You ready, Corey? Over-unders?
Let's do it.
All right. You're a good man. Over-unders, all courtesy of the Williams Sportsbook, Tallahassee, Florida. Big banner in the picks that were handed to me. It's Duke week, all caps, exclamation mark. Lots of prop bets from the Williams Sportsbook. Hamson Nasruldeen tackles 6.5, Corey Clark. Over, under.
Oh, that's a good number. I'm going to say, you know what? I'm going to say over. Okay. I think he's going to play inspired. He's had another 3 weeks to get healthy. I think he'll be the best player on the defense. And I think he's got to have one game on film. So, and he knows he might not get another chance to play this year. So he's going to be all out in this game.
Okay. Yeah, I was going to go over as well. That was much more articulate than what I was going to say. Duke sacks on Florida State quarterbacks. 3.5. Come on.
Under.
Yeah.
Under. That's Jordan Travis back there, Gene. You're not sacking Jordan Travis unless he allows you to sack him.
But gosh,
he's
if
not
he
going
goes
to be doing
down, that. Oh, man. Yeah, I don't think. But then it's Duke. But I guess Duke actually does get after the quarterback pretty decent. Lawrence Toafili rushing yards, 54.5.
I mean, that's another good number. I'm going to just say under just because we haven't seen it, but I really want to go over on that. You know what? Hey, you know what? You only live once. Am I right?
Yeah.
I'm going over on that number. Even though, what is he? He might not have that much all season. But I'm going over.
I'm going to as well. I think are you 2 up on me? I got to go back and listen to our
I think I'm 9
show.
up on you. I think I'm 9 up on you. We've already called it off.
Oh, this is just a symbol of how the mighty have fallen. Temperature at kickoff, 73.5. I would take the under. A little bit seasonably cool. I think it'll be like a brisk 72.
I haven't checked the weather forecast. Is it supposed to be warm? That warm in the middle of December? I'm going to say under 2. It's going to be 4 o'clock. The sun will be down a little bit, getting a little dark, starting to feel a little fall in the air, I guess. So I'm going to say under on that.
Okay. 8.5 penalties, over under. I've missed something this year. Like, they're still highly penalized, but for some reason it doesn't feel nearly as pronounced as it did in years past for some reason.
Well, they haven't had the inexplicable ones, like not enough guys on a punt team or a kickoff team, or they have had, I think they had to call one timeout for that, but I don't think they've gotten any penalties for that. But the false starts to me are about the same.
Whew, man,
it's false start you, man.
They're 122nd in penalties per game, 9.25.
Yeah, not great. So I'm going to say under, though.
I'm going to say over. They're rusty. They're rusty. They haven't played in several weeks. Timing's going to be off. Some false starts. Yeah. Plus, I got to zag if I want to catch up. This might be the last one.
That's right.
Get a crack at. All right, total points on this one, 57. I mean, I feel like that should have been part of your bet, Corey. I'm going to hammer 57. Am I weird? I'm going to hammer it.
I think I'm going over, too. And that's another one, too, by the way. What's the spread of that game? Is it 4.5? Is it 5?
4.5, I think, last I saw.
If they're actually playing, I really do like Florida State to win by more than 4.5.
It's up
that
to
might
5
be the one.
On my
yeah, that
bookie.
might
My
be the
book's at
one
5.
that might be the one 5, 4.5. It don't matter. This Florida State team's firing on all cylinders. I'm going to say that definitely is one of my bookie bets. Is I would take Florida State and give the points.
Okay, all right. 4-game parlay, everybody. Big dollars.
Right. That's right. Well, 5 if you count me hammering the over with you.
Okay. No underdogs, though. You didn't take any, underdogs straight up. No.
I did not, no.
No honor.
I was looking at the Alabama-Arkansas game. It's 32 points. I'm like, man, when does Alabama only beat Arkansas 40-10? It seems like that's a 55-17 game, easy. But that's too many points. I don't like giving that many points.
Okay. All right. There it is. We only disagreed on one. Penalties at 8.5. Go ahead and make your picks, everybody, over on warchant.com's Tribal Council. Winners get free Zaxby's food and free Zaxby's apparel. So that's pretty cool. We
also,
appreciate that.
in better news, and I'm only saying this because we're wrapping up, and it's our last show of the week, and we're doing it. We're having it right now as this news came out. The U.S. Government Advisory Panel has endorsed Pfizer's vaccine, and the shipment should be starting as early as this weekend, and certainly by early next week, the shipments of these vaccines should be going out. Obviously, the most susceptible in our society and the healthcare workers, frontline workers, will get them first. But that's really, really good news. So crossing my fingers that I get a chance to get that vaccine. We all do. People that people listening to this, you all get a chance to get the vaccine here in the next couple months. Right? That's exciting.
Yeah, the Warchant.
Apparently, that's the only way we're going to beat it. It's the only way to beat it. We got it. The other way obviously hasn't worked. So, not that we really gave it our all as a country, but still, this was obviously the most realistic way to stop this. And I say this because it does pertain to sports, like March Madness. And I know we have more. I don't want to be. I don't know. I don't know. That's not even the word. I know there's more to life than sports, but this really enhances the chances of there being a March Madness. This could enhance the chances of a March Madness with fans if we roll it out quickly enough and people get the doses in time. I'm very, very excited. There's been such bad news for this for so long. It's been a part of our lives, and man, wouldn't it be cool by Valentine's Day if more than half this country has been vaccinated? I don't know.
Ambitious.
Just put it out there.
Very ambitious of you. I like it, Corey.
Well, I know. I'm hoping.
Okay. All right, that's a wrap on the show. It's a wrap on this week. Everybody, thanks so much for joining us. Hit the thumbs up on the way out if you're still listening to us on YouTube and you haven't. Again, 5-star reviews, much appreciated on the Apple platform. Stay connected to warchant.com as we get closer to another football game.
Let me ask you a question, Aslan. If we find out later tonight after we've recorded this show or tomorrow that the game does get canceled or postponed, what do we do with this? Are we going to still release the podcast?
Well, the podcast drops at midnight Friday. So.
Oh, okay. All right.
And then I'm sure if for whatever reason it does get canceled, we'll probably just do a video reaction, all of us.
Okay.
Like,
right.
hey,
well,
it's us
hey,
again.
we're all hoping that doesn't happen, right?
Let's play a football game.
Let's go watch a football game. First, a basketball game against the Gators.
That's right.
And then a football game against the hated Blue Devils.
Yeah.
It's rivalry week.
I know she stayed away from hoops picks. I don't like betting on hoops.
Yeah, basketball's tough. It's all tough, but basketball's really tough.
All right. Thanks for listening to Wake Up Warchant presented by Zaxby's Indescribably Good. Have a great weekend, everybody.
And now, a math lesson. The Let's say the Zaxby's chicken finger plate comes with 4, 5, or 6 hand-breaded fingers and 1 side of Zax sauce. Plus, you can try them with Zax sauce, honey mustard, hot honey mustard, tongue torch, teriyaki, wimpy, nuclear, barbecue ranch, sweet and spicy, insane. How many possible combinations does that make? Carry the 2 with the remainder. A lot. Zaxby's chicken finger plate. The sauceabilities are endless.